Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's gonna boot on up. Yep, looks like everything is booted on up. Give me a moment to activate the live chat windows. Verify indeed a Fox person. Why are you trying? Why is I have notifications turned off and all of a sudden play Assassin's Creed Shadow? No fucking thanks. You can never really get into the Assassin's Creed series and begin with. And looks like everything is booted on up. Give me a moment to check my other computer. And let's get started. Let's find a good game. Something that's over an hour long. It's probably pretty lowly rated. Not too terribly low. No offense to people, but usually the lower ranking players don't know how to attack or reinforce quickly enough. Let's see. Anything that stands out when it comes to names? Nope. So just start going down the list and seeing any decently ranked. At least 1200 or higher is my minimum. What a delightful name this is. Let's see, scroll down a little bit there. Anything? Don't see anything, any names that pop out to me. Let's see. Now it's starting to get their durations of games are a little bit too short. So let's hit that one. Was it him who was at least 1100? Right now I'm probably going to just do the one that's 1100 there and call it good for now. It says it's above 20 minutes. I could probably check a Discord I am part of. Okay, unavailable. Let's see now. Let's see if there's any replays from this Discord channel. Or perhaps do. Yeah, I got one, a couple here. And they are a decent duration. Yep. I will go ahead and get those transferred over. Delete the existing replays. This sort of probably the thing I should be doing nowadays is focus on the live games. If I don't see anything that's long enough, go to a pre-saved one. So, let's get started. This could hopefully from the correct patch. Oops. That old issue that still exists. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Age Mythology replay. So on bottom or top or right side as the red Susanoo, we have Leyline Leia. Spawn bottom left side as the blue Ra, we got Jolly Man. And it looks like actually blue's player too, so this might be a bit of a custom game between these two players. This I believe is a bit of a clan fight. So let's go ahead and get started. Of course, Ra is, of course, a default major god, but Susanoo is one of the new gods. Myth units and god powers tributes are large favor generated for each Bushido tier. Myth units earn Bushido XP passively and through combat, like, say, the Norse. Invokes god powers are 25% cheaper to re-invoke, so you can repeat them more often, and units have a bit more special abilities. But since it's not a live game there, the game does pause and pulling that stuff up, so I'm probably going to be not pulling up the descriptions all too much since it doesn't do play in the background. So we'll pause the game. Miko there does get a bit of healing done. And it looks like Red does obtain some goats. We do have the monument to Ra here, which he needs to start empowering it to get the AoE empowering, such as on the mining camp. There will be a lesser empowerment on other sources, but he can still at least empower the town center to get the improved food drop off, if I remember correctly. Now he's doing a full empowerment. And now it's going to build the temple there as well. The first initial god power for Susanoo, I think that's how I'll say his name. I just think of Susan as in a female name. Cast down with a sword. I've pronounced that. Kusangani. Kusangagi. Well, I don't know how to pronounce it whatsoever. A sword that damages nearby enemies and summons a riptide to blast them skyward. So it's like this shockwave, but a little more powerful, but not as reusable. Do now the age up, Inari Okami, which will give access to 9-tail Foxos. Of course, Red does start out with a single Kitsune, but you can always pull out more Kitsune. Miko here is empowering the shrine, gain decent number of, let's see, Red's getting how much favor? It says the 0 per minute. That's probably incorrect, but I have to switch over the player. 17, so a very good amount. There's the Kitsune. And got a number of structures going up. You have now all this going on up. A single Kitsune moving over here. We do have the Wadjet here, a myth unit I still absolutely hate. And does get some poison damage on this Kitsune. No additional Kitsune being deployed in the field. We do have some Naginata riders being deployed in the field. An anti-range cavalry. It's more similar, closer to the raiding cavalry, I think, overall. But I think the multiplier is a bit more Marion Hippus, not thinking about it. Just good attack speed and better multiplier like raiding cavalry. It looks like the Joro Gumo is slowing down formation, but the Naginata riders could separate from the formation and get improved passive mobility thanks to the nearby Kitsune. And with the minor god he selected, Inari Okami, gets access to the 9-tail Kitsune upgrade, allowing the double stack the aura, so the entire formation can have up to 6.6 movement speed. You have some samurai being deployed in the field. There's more Naginata riders. Blah. And oh, the Kitsune do provide some experience with as counts as a myth unit with him. Very nice. So he does get some Bushido experience.
Into you.
We got some spearmen push away forward, getting some damage on the Naginata riders. And there is ability to escape out of there, but looks like he will get hit by a good number of spearmen. The priest is getting eaten by the various myth units. It looks like the priest will go down. More spearmen being deployed on the field. Kitsune don't have super high DPS, their attack speed's pretty slow, but they're cheap. Cost a little bit higher in favor. They're meant to be a scout. There's a katana. Another spearman there. The next summon's actually relatively cheap. Does bring in the Kami. Oh, so deploying a myth god power makes the other god powers cheaper, so that's how that works. Does make its own god powers cheaper. Does make his the other god powers cheaper. Very interesting. Means that it provides more value as later on. Who's gonna eat in there? The Kappas here will start eating individual units. See, they're sticking their heads out like that. It's like one of the god powers I think is going to be nerfed in the future patches, because that is a pretty powerful god power at the moment. Naginata riders are falling back. May want to find one of those Mikos in order to start healing them up. And may want to get the Spider Lady out of the formation. There are now some scallop axes being researched. More samurai being employed in field. In Age of Mythology, they have just good melee damage, good multiplier versus infantry, slow attack speed. Oh, they have a charge attack as well. Looks like these units are trying to fall back there. The Naginata Rise, another drop there. Makes the Kamis have cost 25 less favor, which is quite significant. And that god power is cheap enough to spam out to make the other god power cheaper, so in theory, if you deploy this one 3 or maybe 4 times, it could get reduced down to 3. If that does get multiplicatively applied. So there's also an argument to wait for this god power until you pull out this god power once, so it makes it immediately cheaper than perhaps cast it again. I need to play around with it myself. We do have some more Naginata riders being pulled in field. There's a medium Naginata riders. We've got Ono Mushas being pulled in field, and more medium samurai. Priest getting a lot of good healing there. We do have a number of axemen here. Spearmen are generally the way to go, but a handful of them wouldn't be half bad against the samurai. They are 4 populations, they're quite population intensive. They are a small elite force. Spearmen getting some good damage on those Naginata riders. And they do have decent movement speed. No Kitsune in order to help improve their movement speed. Nor do I believe he has the 9-tailed Kitsune upgrade. You can bring in another axe relatively soon. And look at that favor generation. He is swimming in favor at the moment. I think it's because all these hunts, all these crowned cranes applying decent amount of experience for him. Hippos being aggravated there. Bushido tier 2 will give him 75 additional favor, which honestly is not a lot. Let's see if I switch over to him. Currently providing 14. Yeah, this actually favor generation is not too high at the moment. It does give him free medium status, which is very nice. More Kaphas being summoned now. There's another Naginata. You see here none of the axemen getting pulled under. Naginata Rise not eyeing for the villagers who are trying to escape through the gate. A couple openings there. Will not take out any of them, though a couple of them were left behind a little bit. More of the throwing axeman gets grabbed. He's losing so many of these spearmen throwing axemen to that Kappas. Yeah, that god power's gotta get nerfed. Because I'm pretty sure that did almost as much damage as a Hera Lightning Storm. Got pretty close to it. As a good reference point. Maybe the copper pool needs to be shrunk down to something about this radius rather than this radius. Yeah, that could probably either the duration needs to be reduced, the number of ticks needs to be reduced, or yeah, radius, duration, or ticks of grabs, or limit the number of grabs, because that god power seemed a little bit too strong. More samurai do now have some Yumi archers being pulled in the field. Does find some of these reinforcements. Right now, blue does 2 towns on this. Red only has the 1. So blue has plenty of villager advantage, but red has a much larger army at the moment. But blue has a bit more of a counterforce of the spearmans. We're constantly getting healed up by these priests. Spearmen will get some good damage here, don't get me wrong, but they will probably be defeated, but they do not. More spearmen push away forward, trying to get some good engagements. Naginata riders falling on back. Over here we do have a good number of the samurais here. Yumi archers being engaged by some spearmen. Yumi archers, compared in the other games, is just pretty much just generic archers similar to Tuxdays, is put simply put. So they have slow attack speed. Another round of Kappas being pulled in the field. Spearmen trying to engage some Naginata riders. More of these guys being grabbed. Trying to break through that wall now. And the Kappas are now gone. Does manage to break on through. Spearmen and axemen trying to pursue, but most 50-50 mix. Electrum bolts now being summoned. Counter archer units with now a bit of divine damage. He's now trying to age up to Rajin. Let's see, gets access to Rajus. Thunder's Apprentice, Den drums. Hana masks and Heavenly Barrage. Copper upgrades has been researched by blue. And right now, blue has enough gold to age up, just need more food. Still has access to the rain god power when he does need more food from farms, but mostly doesn't have too many farms at the moment. There are also some relics on this side of the map you can still claim, like the blue crystal shard, which does provide faster wood and gold collection rate by 5%. Very nice to have. Next round of Bushido is about to get researched. He will have access to heavy units in age, well, currently age 2, soon to be age 3. Now we do have the age of Sobek to get access to Petri So we can be upgraded to Pet Sobek. Thanks, Grant. There's the heavy cavalry. Also gets a pile of favor of like 75. Next pile of favor is just 100. Another Naginata deployed on, or Katana deployed on the field. Good number of spearmen engaging the Naginata riders. The axemen are engaging the samurai. The samurai are pretty beefy and they are anti-infantry as well. Right now, the Egyptian player does need to age up and get out probably some chariot archers to help deal with these guys. We're now trying to deal with the heavy cavalry. The heavy samurai are still a bit of a problem. And there's the age up, and do now have the Thunderous Burst. Thunderous Burst does Unleash Earth-Shaking Rajan, deals turn radius. Mingo shrunk opening pulling field. Blue did lose a good number of villagers there. There's the Rock, the Petsovic, or Petsochos is pushed way forward now. And here comes a Locust, a little bit of a desperate Locust there. He's trying, Mingo Stronghold's quick go on down. Priests now trying to push their way forward to cleave to Petsochos. Another Katana now deployed on the field. May could see the ring got a power, but right now gonna be villagers now hit the town bell trying to get on in. And it looks like a number of these villagers going down. Blue's not really producing all too much, trying to go for more chariot archers. And there's the Raju. A lightning two-tailed wolf. What's with the Japanese having two-tailed creatures and multi-tailed creatures? You got the cats, the Nekomatas, I think they're called, which are like a split-tailed cat. Of course, got the Kitsune, and of course now the Raju. I suppose a lot of Greek mythologists, oh, something is part human, part something else. Chinese, like, oh, this thing has part dragon. Let's take a bit of damage there. You have some axemen here trying to deal with the cavalry. And it looks like Blue's not on the back of the game, trying to go for more chariot archers to help deal with these samurai. There is a bit of a wall there to fire from. Chariot archers do have a bit of multiplier versus infantry, but they still have pretty good base damage to everything else, though the attack speed is a little bit slow, but they do have good range. Of course, these are unupgraded walls, so they'll go down pretty quickly right there. And they will back off behind the other walls there. They also have mobility for mounted units, actually not very fast, same as the spearmen. Ah, shifting sand was utilized at one point in time. My apologies since I missed that. Right now, red's at pop cap, blue is not. Blue's also lost a significant amount of civilians, so he is behind there. Looks like blue needs some ballistics for these chariot archers. Of course, there's no gate there, so opponent can continuously pursue, like with the heavy Naginata rider. We will get bonus damage on these guys. More gates back here. Do now the dark waters there to give him a more better camels, as well as give them a bit of health regen. More Naginata riders, those camel riders would be a good idea. He knows he's a little bit weak to the Naginata riders, so going for those wouldn't be half bad. Got a castle here. Villagers trying to shank it. Raiju got pretty good stun there. Will get picked off though. Camera Riders are only medium at the moment. Looks like the castle is weaker than the Migul stronghold. But it looks like it has higher attack speed as well, so DPS, oh, looks like it went up. 33. This is 38. We have now some siege or Yumis being put on field, a siege crossbow thing. Oh yeah, it's more close to an Age of Empires 2 Scorpion since it has a ground-based piercing projectiles. We now have a settlement being obtained here. Bit of walls here for the collecting of the gold. Naginata Riders will be intercepted by some of these camera riders who do have ×2 multiplier versus cavalry. So they are medium versus heavy. But there's a fair number of camel riders here at the moment. More axemen being summoned. Probably needs a front line to deal with the samurai. We do now have some of these Yumi horse archers good against infantry. Castle got interrupted. We got a rock here flopping about though. It looks like we are going to see the Stonewall upgrade for the Japanese player. We do have the AV Camel Riders for blue for the Egyptian player. Notice these trade archers took a lot of free damage there. Lost a pretty good formation of them. And now we do have Champion in Age 3. Awesome does get a pile of favor to work with. You can start doing some more god powers. Camera Riders pushing the way forward. Another Kappa there. Another Naginata. Those Camera Riders can be grabbed by the Kappas. Additionally, this also made the Thunderburst god power even cheaper. It was 150, now it's just a simple 85. These are medium camera riders, Champion Naginata Riders, so Champion Naginata Riders have a lot of value behind them. The Pharaoh may want to stop empowering and start attacking. And blue does resign. Zangrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to next replay. Let's see now. That game's still ongoing. Somebody's viewing this one. Decently rated. Nope. Get out of here. Sorry, spam bot. Let's see, any of these other names? Yeah, we'll just do this one. Balanced? Wait, is that an AI? No, it's not an AI. Sorry, I was like, I just got confused by that. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. So on bottom left side as the blue Hades, we got Taparica. Spawn top right side as the magenta or pink Amaterasu, we got Kaizen. When it comes to the initial gods, of course we all familiar with Hades, but let's talk about Hades and Amaterasu. Hades, range soldier focus and buildings. Recent chance for our fallen humans to return to as shades, give you some free but dirt cheap, not great myth units. Myth units have additional 50% hit points go along with it, and range soldiers and heroes have +1 range and line of sight. Range fortification has additional 2 range. Ballistics and burning pitch are instantly researched in respective ages. Of course, it's a Shade of Hades. It may say it costs 100 gold, which is probably accurate to what it can do. Not great. And of course you get a Vault of Erebus to get a little bit 2 gold triple, and Sentinels is a pretty good anti-raiding tool, which may be particularly good against Japanese, since it seems like a lot of Kitsune raids I've seen. Amaterasu. Amaterasu's economy and samurais earns an increasing gold trickle with each Bushido tier. Very nice to have. Samurai and Onimushas earn 300% more experience outside of combat, so if they're idle, you get more experience. Shrines increases the content of nearby resources up to 150%, so it sounds like you can collect more delicious meat from the wildlife. Samurai and Onimushas regenerate the hit points twice as fast in combat. And for unique god powers, got Solar Shield. Target unit makes it temporarily nearly invulnerable, so it's like 99% likely. Way of the Bushido gets additional gold per second per trickle tier achieve, and of course get the medium, heavy, and champion upgrades. And also gets a myth unit, Kagura. Amaterasu summons a new Miko and allows your Mikos to train and heal faster. Not bad. Since Amaterasu's focus on samurai, Hades probably should age up towards something that fights samurai. Athena does give access to restoration, Minotaur, pierce armor for infantry, Minotaur upgrade, and of course hoplites increase melee attack, range, and hack damage. So I think it'd be better to go for Ares. Pestilence is okay. Cyclopes are quite nice. This will give hoplites additional divine damage. Prodromos not too important, but nice if you want a little bit more effective counter cavalry. Deimos Sword of Dread will give you high passes early and plus melee damage, so early high passes could be used against samurai who are also anti-infantry. More toxic damage could be quite nice as well, so I think Ares would be a little bit better in this situation. For Amaterasu provides Ame no Uzume, I butchered that name well enough, which of course give access to the Goshin Boku tree, which resurrects its owners and units as they fall in combat. Slice and Dicing Weasel. Infantry hit points increased by 10%, good for the samurai, and of course gives a little bit of Bushido experience upon death, so that's probably a good idea for her to get. And improves Miko favor generation, allows shrines to affect a wider area. So that's probably pretty good for Amaterasu. The other one, Mina Katatomi, probably butchered that name well enough. Shrine of the Hunt, target a shrine transformed into a shrine of the hunt, periodically spawned huntable deer, as well as friendly wolves defend the area. Probably pretty nice assets there for defense and for economy. Wan Yudo, flame demonic wheel that breathes fire at enemies. He looks pretty happy. And increase their area damage and all that sort. Villagers gather from huntables by 10%. Not bad. It will diminish pretty quickly, though with this, maybe not so much. Hunter strength improves your archer's bow, increase their range and damage. So ranged soldiers get 1 range and 10 damage. 10% damage. And reduce the cost of ranged soldiers by 10% of wood and gold, and siege by wood and gold. So all that's pretty nice there. Looks like she's aging up to Ame no Uzume.
準備できたよ。
Go and check. Yep, she can still deploy out some Kitsune. And the improve, yep, looks like the goats also can be increased in their fattening. Though the fattening rate's probably still the same, so. There's the tree, the collect spirits, resurrecting, queues them up to 2 spirits at a time. Others are lost, cannot revive scouts, such as Kusune tokens, or divinely summon powerful useless titans. I'm guessing tokens like the golden lions and the monkeys. There's the slice and dice animal. It was called again. And nice deployment of the sentinels there. Sentinels are an anti-raiding tool, and this is a perfect such case. I think the Kitsune may have went down. Got many of these weasels on the field. Let's see, 120 food, cheapen food, some favor. 16 damage with a very high attack speed. But yeah, that seemed pretty high DPS one. Speed seems a little bit slow, 4.8 for these weasels. I guess having blades on your elbows doesn't make them, it will slow you down. I don't know why, when I think of Slice and Dice, I just think of Universe at War, the Blade Warriors, or the Novus. Ready to slice and dice. That's a spooky sound, supposed to be a robot. Weasels are moving around. Got Ajax here. Ajax, of course, is the anti-myth unit hero, which all heroes are anti-myth units, but just has high multipliers of times 12. And we already got the temporary invulnerability already summoned. And we got some chickens. These villagers are in fact meat wizards. They turn chicken into chicken. More weasels. Bushido tier 1 still very much the case. After all, you will require samurais and other units to generate favor. Oh, there goes the Kitsune. Achilles took it. Should have nipped at his heels. The Achilles tendons, I heard, is the weakness of Achilles. Who would have thunk? Oh, there's the replenishing one. Let's see, it was collect spirits, most fallen myth units and resurrecting, queues them up 2 spirits at a time, so you get a 50% refund. Spawns the most recently fallen myth unit, whoever captures it and controls it. So it's actually a capturable structure. That's good to know. Wait, why did we get 2 of them? I need to play around with that and see. Oh yeah, looks like it's queued up 2. So can stack up. How do we get 2 of these? How many myths do they both get a stack? Or just split the queue among both of them? Not sure. If it's you gain 1 for both of them, that could be very powerful. Looks like I got some samurai from Pulling Field, and maybe just meant for Bushido generation, so she has more passive Bushido generation. Ares is currently upgrading Aphrodite. Aphrodite does give access to villager ability for villagers to generate more favor and carry more. As well as Nemean Lion and the very powerful Curse God power, which should be particularly effective versus small number elite forces such as samurai. I think Curse is actually going to be very useful against samurai users. It was already pretty effective versus cavalry users, but it's going to be particularly effective versus samurais. There's Nemean Lion. Let's see, who should, oh, looks like she has queued up Hachimon, which is, the closest thing I can think of is Advanced Wars, Hachi, who was the merchant. In this case, he is god of archery and strategy. Gives access to upgrades daimyo to a shogun, which samurai summons free samurai. Probably that's a good reason why Amaterasu goes for it. Gets access to Tengu, which is not the Wolfkin Tengu from Japanese mythology. It's a subset, but that is a subset one. Let's see, Tengu upgrade. Increases range soldier damage. And hero train time. And something involving ships. Looks like these weasels do find some villagers. Razorwind upgrade. Ajax is now trying to intercept. Ajax does move. No, Ajax does not move faster. He needs Achilles or Chiron to help him pursue them, which he does have access to both of them. Razorwind. Increase damage by 40%. Yeah. Nope. Looks like this one that was heading the corner does pounce on some villagers. There's Achilles. Does manage to get them there. Temporary invulnerability. I don't know where. Was it cast on this one? I have no idea where that got casted. I would assume it was the one that got wounded. Howdy. So I don't want any salami at the moment. Testing 1, 2, 3. Nope. I can see my microphone going. I can see my microphone on my stream on OBS going up and down. We do now have some Onomusha now being employed in the field. And got a number of farms there. I need to switch off of that player. I'm curious, let's... never mind. I was gonna think about... We can take a look at what Amaterasu's next set of gods. But we got a bit of a game here. We do have a Shogun deployed on the field. Let's see, Amaterasu's next minor god could be Takamazuchi or Okun Ushi. Yes. We've got a bit of engagement going on here, so let's focus on this. Does break on through and hitting down south, or not. Oops. There's the Shogun there. The Shogun says it does have Divine Armor passive, Divine Immunity, so it cannot be targeted by Bolt. And it does say Summon Samurai. As far as I can tell, that is like a part of a passive ability, which could be very nice. We just got the increased Bushido tier, so now she gets nice 1.5 gold per second trickle, which is effectively 2 villagers or 3 villagers for free. Which is not too bad, not too terribly strong, but not too half bad. After all, a tiny little bit of gold trickle, especially when there's no more gold left on the map, is considered invaluable. So definitely playing the long game for that one. But also gives access to medium infantry. Which, that's how Japan gets the... No, can still research the champion guard. But of course... Getting it for free is always very nice. Along with free gold. You have the Golden Kite, increasing ranged soldiers. Ranged soldiers and the heroes damaged by 25% against Smith units. The bonus damage against Smith units. Hero melee damage. No, it's just more, and all heroes get additional 15% damage. All ranged soldiers get plus 15% damage. While all heroes get additional 25% bonus damage, or all ranged units get additional 25% bonus damage versus myth units, which is very nice. Give them a little bit of supplemental support. Got a decent number of weasels here. There should be a Tengu somewhere, though that may be dead. Down south, we've got some more of the Yumi Horse Archers, who have pretty good base damage, cost 3 population. Sentinels here. They could be upgraded with crenellations, help improve the damage against these Horse Archers. Their durability is not great, however. Turns into pigs. So does have 5 piggies, wee, all the way to their new home. Of course, got the castle here. Castle, of course, can blow out the siege crossbows, and eventually the hero unit in the Age 4 Mythic Age. 1 Petrobolos here. Various got copper, melee armor, and bronze upgrades going. You do also have Hepatis queued on up for the Colossus and the Plenty Vault. More Tengus being queued on up as well. A couple Naginata riders now push way forward. Chiron's also being queued on up. Naginata riders won't find any villagers up here, but may find these ones who are currently eating some goats. Chiron is here. Hoplites pursuing these Naginata riders now. It does ghost a bit of stuff there. We'll be breaking on through though. Oh, there's also a path right there. So increased surface area and less choke pointing would probably be a good idea, especially when the hoplites nearby. They appear to have the Sarasia upgrade with their increased melee range. Looks like the Naginata Rider does receive a direct hit there from the Petrobolos. More barracks, more archery ranges. Hepatis is almost queued on up. I think he should start saving his favor up to get out a secondary Plenty Vault. I always think you should rush out a second Plenty Vault with him. We do also have the Age up here, going for Taki Mizkazuchi. I can't pronounce any foreign language. He provides, let's see, target path of destruction will cleave through an area with a colossal. Hey, his opponent has a Colossus. Katana Slash, inflicting massive damage to units and stunning any survivors. Gives access to Asura, the multi-fisted person guy. Tower Giant incinerates enemies. Upgrade to increase their attack speed. Infantry get plus 1 hit points there. Good for the Samurai place up for Armor Torasu. And bonus damage versus buildings. Sorry, got a bit of engagement there. Weasels push forward. Got a good number of Hypasis being queued on up. Got some hull tests here to engage the Horse Archers. Restoration now gets summoned there. Do have a Samurai summoned there by the Shogun. Shade's now being summoned as well. Does use Divine God Power onto the Solar Shield onto the Shogun there. Another Samurai gets summoned there. Do got the Champion Infantry upgrade. Oh, there's a Katana. No, that blade could use a bit of work there. And looks like killed off a good number of villagers there. Oh, that God Power is bugged. It disappears. Okay, that God Power needs work. Got a pretty good queue up there, queuing up Tengu and the Barrett. What in the Star Wars? More or less. Yeah, that God Power needs a bit of update. Now, village is backing out off. There's a bunch of angry men after him, and a couple angry ladies. got the Colossus here. Both for sumo training and the other upgrade. Villagers who managed to escape into the corner. They're at one of the four corners of the world. So they should be pretty prestigious there. Good number of these crossbows here. They do piercing damage. They're like Age of Empires 2 Scorpions. It looks like they got a little bit tied up on terrain. Berry bushes. Common enemies of all siege weapons. And it looks like they're pretty vulnerable to being a punch in the face by a bunch of guys. Like most siege weapons. There's all those guys there. Blue could mix in some of his unique crossbowmen. Got Tengu there. Tengu Master. Still inferior than Mecha Tengus. Because it cannot transform into a jet. We do have now the Hoplites and High Passes trying to engage. Good amount of cavalry here, so the Hoplites will get bonus damage. This Polar Bear is in for the ride. And that crossbow came out and got killed. I didn't even see anything attack it. Oh, there's the Asura. Does go get the Asura Overlord. Ah, good lord. Which is actually taller than Colossus. Offering good melee damage, good AoE damage, a bit of rain damage. Good General Smith unit. Though he did quickly get picked off. Chiron needs to start targeting the next one on as it starts advancing. Does have one of them queued on up the moment. We've got some shinobi being deployed in the field. More of the Onimori being deployed in the field. And a good mix of forces for right now for the Japanese player. Second Plenty Vault may have been summoned at 300, unless it got nerfed for the second cost of the second one. Which may have been the case, I'm not sure. Because beforehand it was 200 and 400 favor, so I don't know if it got changed where the third one was cheaper or the second one's more expensive. Achilles and Ajax pushing forward, trying to pick off the Overlord now. Blue's not straightforward. Good enough of these horse archers here. More Naginata riders, so Prodromos could be quite nice. More of these guys being summoned. Now it looks like Hades is going to be eyeing for Secret Titans, or at least try to queue it up eventually. Actuality just needs a bit more gold. He can sell maybe 1,000 wood and he'll have enough gold to get out the Titan research. Mission does not push way forward. Chiron's here, so you can pick off the Weasel. Does pick off the Weasel there. Shades are taking on the Tengu. Chiron needs to hit that Tengu. Achilles will there. But the villagers will be going down, so the settlement will be denied. And we've got Divine Blood from Aphrodite being researched now. Blue could start mixing some of his unique crossbowmen, just have a mobile backline siege unit. Iron and bronze upgrades now on the way for pink. And the Titan is being researched. Those gold right now is pretty low, and his food's not doing all too great at the moment either. Another cursed god power there. Does get free incendiary arrows, so his range units can do some damage. Nothing too great though. Goes from like 1 to like 3 damage. Villagers here a little bit idle. Going for a fortress here. Samurais push away forward, and Yumi Horse Archers cause some issues. Do have a bit of bonus damage versus Myth units. No other bonus damage. They do have decent attack speed as well. Though there's just a generalist mounted range unit. That samurai sword does slice apart one villager. The Titan Gate has been summoned, and here are the villagers. Probably queued on up, and now be queued up to collect some wood afterwards. Settlement goes down pretty quickly, looks like. Yep, overall, I'll just say mass quadruples could be quite nice. Engage Naginata Riders, engage the Yumi Archers, the mounted Yumi Archers. And of course, we'll be able to reasonably gauge the siege weapons. And that's also another reason why I like Ares over Athena. Just because I put a bit more value in that divine damage. Especially when it gets very multiplicatively applied against various force units. Just +1 divine damage does go a long way for those things. More so than for hoplites. Good number of samurai being employed in the field now. Fortress trying to summon a Heliopoli, as well as a Chiron and Perseus. Purpose not attacking over here. Of course, got the Sentinels here for defense. They're not going to be a great defense in this case. But we can start picking out some of these lone horse archers, I guess. Those need to start stabbing those siege weapons. Looks like the Peltas are focusing down the siege weapons and the range units. They have another fortress or castle being established there. It looks like this Myth unit will slowly be picked off thanks to the Sentinels. More of the Petropoles being cleaned up. Got a fortress back here. This Pegasus is still a little bit idle. Also got the Naginata Riders and try and engage these villagers once again. And the Titan has been summoned. Cerberus. A 3-headed dog. Requires 3 times the amount of head pats. While Magenta's making some great gains, Cerberus could change the game quite a bit. Good number of donkey caravans. Samurai have been in trouble. His Myth units at least are Rangers have at least been a bonus multiplier versus the Titan. Titan looks like going straight over here, looks like. These start protecting the camel caravan or the donkey caravans a little bit better. Hoplites can help out with that, just a move across the line. Looks like Titan's going straight for the town center. Over here, Magenta or Pink is pushing pretty far forward. Sentinels are engaging. Perseus almost deployed on the field. Be great for him to target that Myth unit. He does turn him to stone, getting severe damage. Does go down there. Oh, there's a soul going back to the thing. Good number of samurai here, so looking off some good number of camel or donkey caravans. Cerberus needs. Oh, there's a good number of heroes there starting to hit him, which is a bit of a problem. Of course, this is not Company Heroes 2. We can't just smash the ice and sink a bunch of stuff. This fortress need to be a move towards a Titan there to provide some fire support. There's some hoplites there. And these daimyo are classed as cavalry heroes, so I'm wondering if they are to receive bonus damage from anti-cavalry attacks. It would make sense if it does. And it looks like these siege weapons going down, being tasked to take out the expansion here, a gold expansion. Castles are going down with a bit of AoE damage for both of them. Fortress now going on up. We now have these deer caravans. Too many jokes about was it My Dear Friend anime I can make about that. Do they have deer crackers hanging in front of them rather than carrots? We do have now the Titan going over here. All of those farms get destroyed instantly. Titan's starting to get some adequate support in the field. Blue and pink have... Blue's has a small army size, but the Titan changes the math a lot, to say the least. Vanillas village is starting to go down, and the town center that they're held up into will be destroyed. Service will miss. Oh no, we'll get those villagers, killing all of them once jump. Not swipe. That's a swipe. Hoplites and shades straightforward. And jump. Pink's now established up walls. They're trying to interrupt the trade. Blue is still not stabilized over here, to say the least. Couple fortresses here have been interrupted. And Blue's not going for this town center. Currently, Pink's up to Bushido tier 4, so getting 3.5 gold per second. Another Overlord there, so Kyron can easily engage it. Or he gets knocked back pretty far. The fire sort of bugged out with that. Another round of Sentinels. That's probably not really needed. Oh, the gold gets increased maximum. Blue could keep this alive and increase the maximum gold to grab. That's interesting. So that's actually backfiring for Amaterasu. Amaterasu may just want to delete that shrine. They're just migrating away. The Titans now has some escort here. Just going for a sizable army here. May want to generate some more favor for another Plenty Vault. Current one is down here. Yeah, that's his only Plenty Vault at the moment. So it looks like Plenty Vault has been nerfed a little bit. At least the second Plenty Vault. Titans push forward with a pretty good escort of forces. My apologies for my drink open up. Heroes still pose a problem for the Titan. It does have only do regular damage versus heroes. Chiron does go down once again. And the Titan's heading over here. Remember this, well, this item is capturable. Not sure if it is also not targetable. It has 100, it says 100 health. I wonder if it can be splashed down by the Titan. Nope, it cannot be splashed down by the Titan. So if Blue claims it, then his myth units can be duplicated. Now we've got a pair of Colossus here. Titans now push way forward, going for more of Naginata Riders and Samurai. Amaterasu's lacking food, so maybe we'll go for more range units. Not to mention that her range units will have additional bonus damage from myth units. Titans take a severe amount of damage there. Bushido Tier 4 research, and does have access to champion status and may get elite status after this. The dojo troops are now elite. Perseus does get a bit of petrification done. Automoto Samurai now pull on the field. And this landmark is still claimed by Pink for now. Titan's still crushing way through. If Blue can establish a good grass center, he can start denying the deer caravans. And the Titan has gone down. Finally going for a levy. More high passes and peltas being pulled in the field by Blue. Needs a bit more counter cavalry units there, so hot plates and prodromos. Colossus engaging the guardhouse. Magenta starting to get a good amount of group of forces here. Here's I can see what the elite status looks like. Provides all those benefits. But right now, Pink's force is getting quite grouped up here, while Blue's is still taking a long time to trickle on in. Got 101 versus 105 there. And we've still got more overlords being resummoned by the Goshu Bukus. Here, a lot of shades being summoned. Another round of Sentinels summoned out somewhere. Looks like around this fortress. And got peasants trying to engage the Helioculi. Petropoles can start sieging on the town center now. But we've got a number of Sentinels here to hit these villagers, and they do have full damage versus villagers. Excuse me. These villagers are probably gonna go down. Looks like Blue has reestablished some donkey caravans. Not a very good trade path, but a trade path. But thanks to the plentyfolds, you can try to produce get some more gold generation through that way. There's also still some gold on the map. This area is now being broken on through. Siege crossbows getting hit, hitting the Petropolos. Helioculi hitting the castle as well. Another overlord there. We've got many Oyumis here. Petropolos trying to take on these Oyumis. And they are doing a decent job of that. Two of them remain. Ajax needs to turn around and hit the Overlord. Got another round of Sentinels summoned out somewhere. Let's look over here. I think we should cool off the Sentinel summoning. Sentinels are only good against raiders. Not necessarily against armies, but I suppose at least they're providing some fire support here. And they do lack crenellations though. And their opponent is going with a decent amount of cavalry there. Blue managed to get a good grasp over here. Pink's trade caravans are going to this town, so it's not a great one to go to. Actually, they're still trying to turn over here, so they probably need to be retargeted. Overlord, push way forward. It looks like Pink has resigned. This ain't great, saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see now. 2-hour game? Yep, that's why. Lower ranking players have trouble attacking. Let's see. 19 minutes, that should be adequate. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on our top right side as the Cyan Poseidon, we have called Defense. Spawn on bottom left side as the red Amaterasu, got Tupa. Of course, we know who Poseidon is. Poseidon is the antagonist. Cavalry economic focus, militias from raised buildings, give a little bit of emergency defense. Cavalry, caravans, and infantry get a slight bit of speed per age, which is quite nice. Stables and markets are cheaper, make it easier to build them, but that's a bit of a short-term benefit, not too terribly important. Market rates do get a 50% improved exchange rate, which can be nice in a very late game, and of course you get free sea scouts, which is not going to be important. We got the lure here, give you free chickens, as well as a food drop-off. And lure some units forward. Hippocampus, the scout, militia, which is a dirt cheap spearman variant, and of course you got Lord of Horses. Make your cavalry have a little bit of line of sight and a little bit of health regen there. And of course Amaterasu is the economic and samurai focus. For her Bushido tier, she gets gold generation. Samurai and Onimushas can generate more experience out of combat. Trines improve the capacity of natural resources by up to 150%. And Samurai and Onimushas generate hit points. Her unique god power is makes targets temporarily invulnerable. There's the Bushido effect, and of course get access to Karaguras, which summons Amaterasu summons a Miko and allows your Mikos to be trained and heal faster. Looks like Poseidon's agent to Hermes give access to increased cavalry. Was it speed and hit points? What was it again? Of course, provides ceasefire, Centaur, upgrade for Centaur, Spirited Charge, cavalry, and Centaur get increased speed and damage. And free Pegasus makes them also have a bit more radius, so they're even better as a scout. And not mention you get a free one. The single Kitsune's gonna have a bit of trouble, and this in Dark Age only has access to 1.5 or Archaic Age, not Dark Age. She does age up to Ame no Uzume. Ame no Uzume is the focus of Mikos and infantry. That's this here, gonna cause some issues there. The Kitsune does go down there, not to mention we've got the Centaur firing away with his arrows. Mikos do provide a bit of bonus damage for some myth units, or quite a bit, but they're also only melee, they're not exactly fast. They're meant to be a support unit, they don't have high damage, they are more or less an emergency anti-myth unit. Quite good help protect you against some Centaur, but they're pretty slow. And they're not too healthy as well, so even a myth unit could probably focus them down. Got Alantia here, the fast hero. She can run real fast at 5.6 move speed. The Miko does get focused down there, very nice. Do we get inside the watchtower here? Scout here causing some damage. Now got a single samurai here. Samurai does have a bit of health regen for Amaterasu. Other effects of that one there was get whirlwind weasels, a landmark to regenerate some of your myth units, infantry hit points and more experience on death, and increase collection rate from shrines and increase their radius. The samurai took a fair amount of damage. It does use a shield there. Also rapidly healed the samurai's health and does subside there. You know, a samurai like that is expensive. The Miko could have done it, but at least convinced Cyan to back on off. There's the whirlwind weasel. Only moves at 4.8, so pretty slow. So Lantia could be used to pursue it and take it out. Theseus is not exactly fast himself. We've got husbandry there to give all of the livestock, which in this case goats, a husband. We do, of course, have Bushido Tier 1 with the samurai now out of combat, providing 2 experience per second. Looks like I got some holy chickens. It looks like Cyan's backing on off and now just trying to expand. There's also games we're returning back to eco phase. When it comes to the next minor god, Amaterasu is more focused around samurai, so probably one of Gear Spin that's anti-samurai. Curse is a god power that should be particularly useful against samurai, since it's more effective against smaller number of units, such as samurai who are 4 population each. So I think Aphrodite will have a better god power to support out, though bronze is still very good. Mimian Line is a cat that screams and stuns things. That's normal for a cat. Villagers move faster, build faster, and carry more. And also villagers work faster at the temple by 20%. So Aphrodite is pretty good supporting goddess. Dionysus does give us bronze and excellent combat myth god power. Got the Hydra, myth unit gets strongest over time. But it's nice, but not super great in my opinion now anymore. Dionysia makes all units have plus 5% hit points, very nice. And for Poseidon, this is probably the more important part. Tharkian horses give cavalry a little bit of lifesteal. So Tharkian horses is probably the way to go since Poseidon is the cavalry expert. The curse may be better than minor god powers at this moment in time. Amaterasu's next age up could be Hachiman, give extra shogun to give more samurai. Goes great with Amaterasu's focus. Tengu's a leaping infantry unit or myth unit. This improves Golden Tide, improves range soldier, gives range soldiers and heroes additional bonus damage for myth units, and also makes them do 15% more damage. Other ones, more Tengu stuff, ship stuff, and heroes train faster and have a health regen, which is quite nice. It's like Heroic Renewal, but also a little bit worse since Heroic Renewal provides maximum health as well. Or Rajan. Rajan gives access to Thunderous Burst, strikes his Denden Dako drums, causing expanding rain of lightning to damage and stun nearby enemies. Radius is quite large. You got a lightning dog with 2 tails. Of course, Japanese have a thing with multiple tailed beasts. The Nekomatas, the Kitsune, and the Rajus. Let's see here. Reduce, lowers the cost of invoking more goddesses by 20%. Very nice. Infantry gets life steal by all action damage, which is quite nice, and increase their hit points. So probably, that's probably a better one for Amaterasu, having infantry units have more hit points. And I'll mention life steal. That just seems pretty good to me, and something for our ships. So I can see both. I think a Rajan's probably better. We got monkeys. Meaning Samurai has Bushido Tier 2. Poseidon's actually eyeing for more Toxthes and Centaurs and another Thesis. Does put another Divine Shield on that wounded Samurai, very nice. The other one's now being focused down. Another Miko. Weasel being resummoned. Neither side's queued up on Minor God at the moment. Both players do have 2 talent centers. Poseidon does have an advantage. And Poseidon's actually eyeing to research Aphrodite. So Poseidon maybe not going for a cavalry focus. Though Curse is still going to be particularly useful. How many infantry units can it affect up to? Like 8? So in theory, it could turn this entire formation to pigs. We do now have Lord of Horses and Spirit Charge queued on up. Fair Pegasus here. They may have the Auto Scout turned on. Oh no, it looks like a patrol move order. That's interesting. Pegasus are currently patrolling. And I guess since it's snow terrain, they must have been patrolling Mojave and they wished for a nuclear winter, and they were granted it because it's age mythology and gods can grant wishes and create a nuclear winter. We do now have the Stonewall research for the Poseidon and the Plow. Aphrodite is almost completed. I think we're going to see the Cursed God power here. Curse. Miko does go down. Nope. And does go for Cursor. Looks like it affects up to 5 of them, or 4 of them. So got extra fattened pigs, wee, all the way to their new home. My stomach. You're concerned that since the pig spores once human to be cannibalism? Well, don't worry. Pig is the closest imitation to human meat. Believe it or not, if you cook up human meat, it does smell like pork. And apparently it tastes like it as well. Does that help you out? And maybe also the best argument, also I think religiously, why pork is forbidden by some religions. We do now have these light or whirlwind weasels advancing. I don't even try to pronounce some of these names. Rajan being queued on up. With the previous minor god, Ame no Uzume, with her increasing the hit points of infantry by 10%, another 50% here, these samurai should be particularly healthy. We do have some Hippos not being queued on the field, and the enemy line does stun these weasels, and they got picked off for free. Of course, the enemy line does like any cat does, just run up and screams at something it doesn't like. Number of Patromos and Hippos here. Really, I'm surprised we didn't see Dionysus for the Tharkian horses. It's such a powerful upgrade, particularly with his unique cavalry, the Intaros? Herotaros. More medium samurai, the Kamatachis are being redeployed by that god power. Provide just a lot of generalist power capability there. Both players aged on up. There's some Naginata riders. Luckily, he has some Padromos in the field. Nice movement speed. Ceasefire is still available, which can be very nasty. What would be the next minor god I would choose for? Poseidon. Plentyfall's very nice. Earthquake's very nice. This improves more ranged soldier focus, so Hepatis providing more bonus damage for the Heritaros would be very nice. Not to mention give them more bonus divine or bonus damage against myth units. And his opponent does have that one landmark creating a constant stream of myth units, so I really observe Hepatis, Ares, and Dionysus is probably the path I usually would choose for Poseidon, because divine damage for Prodromos gave you an excellent counter cavalry unit there, among other things. And not to mention Dionysus to give them lifesteal, a little bit extra health does go a long way, and then bonus damage from Hepatis. There's that god power there, the Thunderous Blast. You know, a lot of AoE damage there. And yes, took a lot of damage there, and he has no way hitting this up. Greeks only have two sources of healing: Athena's Restoration and Apollo's Healing Temple, which neither Poseidon actually has access to. He can't get Manticores, nor can he get Minotaur. Do now have the Ceasefire God power. He's trying to resummon a bit of an army. More Samurai queued on up. 140 population for 105. Getting another Raiju. Divine Blood's now being queued on up. Fortified Townsend popped in a pretty good time. Neiman Lion screams like a cat. Number of Toxays here, they're just medium Toxays. We also got a number of Centaur here, which their Arrow Ball is getting a decent amount of splash damage, though Amaterasu's health regen is helping nullifying that. Hippolyta does pick off some of the Whirlwind Weasels. They do have some Hippos in the field, and also against the Japanese, early Hippos from Ares could be very nice as well. Siege crossbows being deployed in the field, engaged in the town center. More high past this, more Centaur being summoned. We do also now the Bushido tier 3 activated, so he does have free heavy. Oh yes, I am fast shaving. Town center does go down, and the castle sort of go on up. Does get a good wave of reinforcing militia. Amaterasu's health regen is being very nice to have. Right now healing 1 health per second in combat. That is what it is in combat. So it's probably a 0.5 out of combat. Yep. Exotic Doggo is dead here. Another Neiman Lion there, screaming at the Raiju. No heroes help pick it off, but does have monkeys. More mounted archers being deployed in the field. Guys now pushing forward, trying to slice apart some of these villagers. The Raiju does have a bit of a stun knockback thing. It has a stun effect above their head, but it doesn't look like it actually stuns them. Science Village not backing on off. Red does have a village advantage at the moment. Now going for a Sylvian lore, increasing their range, their range and the hit points. So no increased DPS. Yeah, Lion gets pretty good stun there. Villagers are trying to build a watchtower here to keep watch. And Sion does go ahead and resign his Angerade, saying, "Think watching," and on to the next replay. Before I get started next replay, do you need a restroom? Please keep a moment. My apologies, I'm back. Let's see if we can't find another good replay. Let's see. Any of these names? Oh, that name seems familiar. Nope. None of these names seem familiar to me. Oops, that double clicked. Yeah, even if I did cast it wouldn't be terrible. Just don't know how good it would be. Above average players, to say the least. If assuming 1,000 is average and also starting. Let's see. That's probably the lowest I've ever seen one. Here we go. Let's see. Zoom. Maybe a little on the shorter side. So let's do one of the replays I have stored on up. Of course, that bug is still in the game. Greetings everyone, and great here for another Age Mythology replay. Spawn bottom right side, or just bottom side as the blue Tsukiyomi. We got M Moksha 333. Spawn north side as the pink Amaterasu. We got Kaizen. Isn't this map the tug-of-war map from the campaign? It seems pretty close to the tug-of-war map from the campaign. It's a bit more, has a bit more valleys and of course a bit more edges, but it seems like it's the tug-of-war map from the campaign. I could be mistaken though, and probably am. Of course, got the two Kitsune there. So both Kitsunes are going their separate directions. Got some goats here. Goats, of course, the goat. Does find some goats. In blues, I can go straight down south, pick up some wood. Suppose trying to keep the shrines nice and safe. Miko is providing 0.707 favor per second, which equates to 4 per minute. Not too terrible. Though I think putting next to chickens would result in more, right? And it looks like the Ceros are starting to go on down.